So now we're going to talk about cost and revenue. This has to do with manufacturing and things like that. So let's say we're manufacturing shoes. And we have fixed costs, the amount that it takes to, so you have fixed costs, such as, rent on the building and the light bill and things like that. Then you have plus the materials to make each pair of shoes. You need leather and shoelaces and things like that. And that depends, materials, that depends on how many pairs of shoes you're making, okay? So let's say it costs us, $1,000 to rent the building and pay the lights. And then let's say it costs us $20 to make one pair of shoes. So depending on how many pairs of shoes we're making, that's going to determine our costs. The revenue, that has to do with how much money we're bringing in. So maybe we're going to charge $100 for every pair of shoes. So we sell so many shoes and then we charge $100 for each pair. The break-even point is when your cost function equals your revenue function. So then you're bringing in as much money as you're putting out to make those pairs of shoes. Now we're assuming that all the pairs of shoes that we make get sold. So that's a little situation here. But when the cost equals the revenue, then we broke even. We didn't make money, but we didn't lose money. All right, so now let's look at this example. The manufacturer of a weight training bench spends $15 to build each bench and sells them for $32. The manufacturer also has fixed costs each month of $25,500. So for the cost, it's going to be the fixed cost, $25,500, plus $15 for every bench that he's making. And then it says B, find the revenue function R when X benches are sold. So R is going to be, how much did you charge? $32 for every bench, okay? It says show the break-even point by graphing both the revenue and cost functions on the same grid. So this is where it gets a little tricky in drawing this out. We're not going to manufacture a negative amount of shoes, and we're not hopefully going to make a negative amount of money. Okay, so the trick is to count these out. So I'm going to count by, this is going to be my amount, and I'm going to go by 10,000s. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. And then down here, so this is money over here. And then down here, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And these are each going to be 1,000. And that's the number of shoes. Okay, or no, benches. Number of benches. Okay. So let's do the cost function first. So if I don't, so let's do the cost. So I'll do a little table of values here. Hopefully it'll make some sense. So if I don't make, so this is like my X and this is like my C axis here. If I don't make any shoes, I still have to pay for the rent on the building and all of that. Then let's say I make 1,000 pairs of shoes, or benches. I'm stuck on the shoes. Okay, so 1,000 would be, it'd be the 2,500, 25,500 plus 25,500 plus, then it's going to be 15 times 1,000. And that would give me a total of 40,500. So I'm plugging in that 1,000 into the cost equation there. Okay? So those are two ordered pairs. I can graph those. Now remember, I'm counting by 10,000s. So 25,000, so this is 10,000 here, then 20,000 here. So it's going to be right in the middle before I get 30,000, a little bit higher. So I'm going to have a point right there. And then at 1,000, I'll go to 40,000, 10, 20, 30, 40, and a little bit. And so my function's going like this. My cost function's going something like that. Okay? Now I'm going to switch colors and do revenue. So maybe revenue is a little easier to think about. I don't know. All right. And so I'll put R here because we have to go to the other function, but it's still in terms of money. So let's say I don't sell any shoes, then I don't make any money, right? Okay, so now let's say I sell 1,000 pairs of shoes. Then that would be 32,000, right? Because it's 32 for each pair. Okay, so I start at 0, 0 right there, and then at 1,000 I'm going up 10, 20, 30, a little bit above. Oops, a little bit above. And so my revenue function is going like this. Okay? Right here, where they cross, that would be the break-even point. Okay, so that's how we're showing the break-even point. Now it says find the break-even point, interpret what that means. So now we're going to take our cost function, which was 25.5 plus 15x, and then our revenue function, which was 32x. To find the break-even point, we set those equal to each other. So 25.5 plus 15x has to equal 32x. All right, so this is an equation we can solve. Subtract the 15x from both sides. And I get 25,500 equals 17x. I'm going to divide by 17. And so I'm going to get x equals, now where's my calculator? Probably doesn't work out nicely, but let's see what we get. Okay, yeah, it worked out. 1,500. Okay, so what does that mean? That's our x, so it means if we make and sell 1,500 benches, then we will cover our costs. We won't make any money, but we'll break even. We will break even. I guess you could explain that a little more, but it means that you've covered the costs of making that many benches and the fixed costs. And then if you made more than, if you sold more than 1,500 benches, then you'd start making money. Okay.